Hello, hello. I wanted to jump on here. I know it is early, so if you're catching the replay, welcome. If you're jumping on live, welcome. So here's the deal. Post a 1 below if this is your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if it is if you're an oldie but goodie. Okay, so post a 1 below if you are new. All right, it's your first through third time catching me live. Totally had a brain fart. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Hey guys, hi Maria. I always am like, said, like, you got to tell me how to say your name. You know what? I don't even care if you PM me and voice it because it's going to drive me crazy. I think I told you that. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Okay, so we're going to talk about these reds. I call them a red, all right? And I'm dealing with this now with a client, and oh my God, we had a bomb IEP today. Like, this school system, horrible, horrible, horrible. So the parent wants to put in a request for due process. But so we're going to be doing that, and the school system's insane. Missouri is insane. But we got them on so many violations. It's not even funny. So I'm looking at this red, all right? And you cannot raise your hand or put a thumbs up or something if you're out there, even if you're catching the replay, if your child has ever had one of these, all right? A red is a review of existing data, all right? A lot of school systems will do this, okay? They don't do that here, but it's a review of existing data, which a school system can do at any time, all right? But it doesn't mean squat, all right? It doesn't mean squat. And this school system that I'm dealing with, okay, that we're going to put in, like we're going to go to mediation and, you know, the parent's going to put in a request for due process. But bottom line, this school system, all right, for 2 triennials in a row, did a red, a review of existing data. And hold on, hear me out. And did not do a reevaluation, meaning an IQ test, a speech, a OT, etc. So not only did they do in 2014 is when the child had a full evaluation. In 2017, they had a red, a review of existing data. And then my dogs are going crazy. Sorry, guys. And then in 2020, they did another red for the triennial of a review of existing data. So in 6 years, the student has not been evaluated with an IQ test, a psychological, psychoeducational, a neuropsychological, no speech, no OT, nothing. All right? Not a C-top 2, not a CLEP. You know me. I know my evaluations. Not the Vinland, not anything. Not an adaptive behavior, not a BASC, nothing. All right? So it's crazy. All right. So, all right. You guys got to hold on a second because I think I have Skylar banging on my door. All right. So just hang on. If you jump off, you jump off. But you got to hang on a second. Okay. Hang on. I'm coming. All right. So I'm back. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. All right. So we're talking about reds. I had to go open the door for Skylar. All right. So do you realize how crazy this situation is? So for those of you who just joined, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Okay? Share this if you want, and make sure you click notifications so you know when to catch me live. All right? So the red, I call it a red. People are like, what's that? It's a review of existing data. Certain school systems in certain states do this. All right. So I'm talking about the state of Missouri. All right. They do a red. And so this is what they did to this student. So the mom contacted me. This child has tons of violations. So of course I'm going through the IEP, tons of violations. I'm going through the red, tons of violations and concerns. The student is, 13 and on a first grade level. And just hearing the school system today, literally, I wanted to throw up. So let's just start from the beginning, because I don't want you guys making this mistake. So if you have a review of existing data in your state or anything like this, then you need to put a stop to this, because I'm sure this isn't the only time this is happening. And I don't want this to be an ongoing issue. I want you all to spread the word. All right. So in 2014, this student, who is 13 and a half, had what's called a review of existing data, but he also had a full evaluation. And I wouldn't even call it a full Raven evaluation, but it was an evaluation that included, an IQ test. All right. Which, remember, when you ask for an evaluation, this is so important right now with COVID, guys, with asking for the right evaluations, not a full evaluation. I know I've said ask for a full evaluation, but you also have to say I want a full evaluation, and these are the ones I want. All right. So this child had an IQ test and a couple others. I would not call it a full evaluation, but it was an IQ test and it was assessments. Okay. So that was done in 2014. And of course, an IQ was done. In 2017 for the triennial, which you guys know, how much do I want you to get evaluated, your children? Every year. All right. You request every year to get evaluated, your children evaluated. Do they stay in the same size clothes for 3 years? No. Their brains grow just like they grow and not get fatter, but just bigger. All right. So in 3 years, you're telling me that's when you're going to evaluate my kid? No. Think about it. Think about it. Think about a 5-year-old to an 8-year-old. Think about the difference in knowledge. And now you're taking a special needs kid and you're not going to evaluate them every year to see where they are. That's insane to me. They need to change that. But bottom line, it's up to us to advocate. So every year, guys, going back, 14 IQ, 17, they did this red, all right, review of existing data. They did not do another evaluation on this child 3 years later in regards to an evaluation to get an IQ, to get where they fall on the scale and their standard score, and no norm reference tests were done. Nothing was done other than, hey, teacher, what's up? Hey, what kind of data do you have? Do you have any worksheets that I can look at? I'll just give you some comments that they said. Just the bullshit. All right. I want to read something really good. All right, here we go. He's able to communicate his needs and wants in the school setting, is intelligible to special education teachers and staff, sometimes mumbles or puts his fingers in his mouth, making him harder to understand. He is embarrassed or shy. He talks underneath his breath. He sometimes needs to be asked to take his fingers out of his mouth, slow down, or repeat himself with increased volume. When the child does these things, he can be understood by both adults and peers. Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that shit? Let me read that again. All right. He this, he that, he this, he that. Listen to this last sentence. Or let me go back to where it contradicts. All right. When he is embarrassed or shy, he talks underneath his breath. He sometimes needs to be asked to take his fingers out of his mouth, slow down, or repeat himself with increased volume. It even says above, it says he's hard to understand. All right. Then it says, it goes and contradicts himself. Then it says, when he does these things, he can be understood by both adults and peers. Do you know what that's doing right there? What it's doing is saying, oh, these are his problems, but, we can hear him. We can understand him. He's good. All right. Another one. The child has continued to improve the accuracy of his letter L sound, which increases his overall intelligibility. Okay. The child has met his goal for producing the L sound in all word positions and consonant blends with more than 80% accuracy. Get this, guys. Therefore, because he got the L sound, remember, therefore, he no longer requires speech therapy as part of his special education services because he got the letter L. Did you hear that? Here's another one supporting that. The student was dismissed from speech therapy services in April 2018 after completing his final speech goal to produce the letter L. I don't know if I should laugh or cry at that one. To produce the letter L sound consistently in spontaneous speech. His speech is understandable and does not negatively impact his communication in the educational environment. His fluency and voice quality are within normal limits. I can tell you straight up, that is not true. I wrote yesterday a second grade paragraph for him to read. Didn't happen. I wrote 8 math problems, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Could not do any of them. But yet, he's withdrawn from speech because he mastered the letter L. And even though he puts his fingers in his mouth and he's hard to understand and he talks underneath his breath, it's summed up with, but he can be understood by adults and peers. That is what a RED is all about. So for 6 years, this student has had no IQ test, but this bullshit is done based off observation. I cannot instill enough. Stop, stop, and stop. Stop going by observation. You can use observation. You can encourage observation. You can have that part of the evaluation, the full evaluation. But you never want to just go off this opinion that they want to state. And it was very calculated. Very calculated. So, and because they say stuff and then they sum it up, but we can hear him, we can understand him. And then they say, oh, we're taking him out of speech because he mastered his final goal, the letter L. We're not gonna give him any more goals, even though he can't speak very well. He mastered the last one, so he has the letter L. We're not gonna give him any more goals. Sorry. He didn't need to be in speech anymore. Let me tell you what they said in the IEP meeting today. And I'm telling you guys this stuff because I know that the things that I hear in IEP meetings, they've got to happen to somebody else out there, you know? So in the IEP meeting, I was taken back because this lady was rude. She was disrespectful. She would laugh and roll her eyes. And she agreed to a certain amount of time for the IEP meeting, and then at the beginning of the IEP meeting said, we only have an hour today, so sorry. Then she, which is a violation, guys, just so you know. Then she proceeded to say that she wanted to hear the concerns of the parent, which we said we were going to do in the very beginning. But then every time we would go to talk, she would say, well, can you get to the point? Then she even said multiple times, you only have 30 minutes left. Is there something else you would like us to know? Oh, yeah, this shit blew my mind today, y'all. Then when I said to her, hi, Michelle. Hi, Tess. How are you? Hi, Kim. Jesse and Sarah and Del Rose. Hi. Oh, you're 175, really? Hey, Aaron, thank you. Del Franco, Anthony. Hi, Leah. How are you? And Michelle Miller. All right. So, and yes, I'm still in my bedroom on my bed because my desk and my office is still getting put together. All right. My husband said he's putting it together by this weekend. I mean, it's a pretty big desk, and I got a new iMac, so I'm going to have two side by side. I think I told y'all all this, that I'm going to be doing, YouTube and all this stuff. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. All right. Hey, Lucy, how are you? Hi, Stephanie. All right. So let's go back to this. All right. So when I said, all right, and there's certain things in IEP meetings that I'm looking for, all right? So even though this lady was, I'm just going to be honest, she was a nasty bitch. She literally gave me all the information I needed to take this school system down, literally. And I wrote quite the detailed email afterward, stating, gosh, so many different idea laws and, all of the failures that they did. One thing that she kept, really diverting to was, how I said this student had if you want to call it an evaluation, an assessment in 2014. It wasn't my type of assessment, but it was an assessment with an IQ, all right, in 14. Then at the triennial on 17, he got this RED, the review of existing data, which is just based off observation. That's it. Then in 2020, they did another one, a review of existing information. And the mom was like, no, I want a full evaluation on my child. So here's the two things that threw me. I said, what did she say? I said, this child is not making progress. She said, yes, he is. I said, are you really saying that? And this is how I said it, guys. I said, are you really saying that? I said, we're talking about a 13-and-a-half-year-old who is on a second grade level. Mom's even saying kindergarten, so it could be in between, to be quite honest. And like I said, I gave him second grade work yesterday, and he wasn't able to do it. So she said, well, he's making little progress. I said, since when? Since first grade? I said, tell me where the progress is there. Well, he's doing the best to his cognitive ability, is what she said. I said, what does that mean? I know what it means, but what does that mean? Well, that's all he's able to do based off his cognitive ability. I said, well, I'm a teacher. You're a teacher. Who the hell are you to diagnose his cognitive ability? She said, well, it says, in 2014, this is what his cognitive ability is. I said, are you kidding me? I said, please tell me you're kidding me. No, I'm not kidding you. His cognitive ability is in 2014. And so that is why his progress is slow, because he's unable to make more progress. Are you freaking kidding me? I wanted to punch this lady out. So I said, so you're going off of 6 years ago, his cognitive ability, his IQ. And she said, well, typically IQs don't improve. I said, well, I beg to differ, because my daughters did. From 16 to 18. And I said, who the hell are you to even say that? To say that a child's IQ can't change? Are you an evaluator? Are you an expert in this field? You're just a teacher, just like me. I said, and I am not qualified to diagnose a child or measure their IQ. That is not my expertise. All right. My expertise is in IEPs and goal writing and fighting for children's rights and their disabilities and getting them what they need in the educational setting, and being a teacher and getting kids engaged and understanding how that works. But I'm sure as hell not an evaluator. I definitely can't diagnose someone's IQ. And I'm definitely not going to say that a child can't make progress, because that's what she said. He is at a first grade level at 13-and-a-half because of his cognitive ability back in 2014, and they failed to do a proper IQ test in 17, and they failed to do a proper IQ test in 2020 because they don't want to be liable for the fact that they have absolutely not provided this child FAPE. That is what's happened. They don't want to see that result. So you cannot let this happen. All right? You cannot let this happen. You have an IQ test. You have a full evaluation every single year. Every year. All right? You and I may stay in the same clothes, all right, and be at the same size every year, sometimes. But kids don't. Kids grow, just like their brains grow. And just because a child has a certain cognitive ability in 2014, don't you ever, ever say to me that a child cannot improve their IQ in 6 years. You are out of your damn mind. Now, does that mean every child with special needs, their IQs improve and they improve and everything's perfect and hunky-dory? I can't answer to that. I don't know. But I can sure as hell say for a fact that no one can make that judgment. And the goal is for them to always make progress, and it's the school's job to make sure and ensure that happens. And I don't care if we're under COVID. I don't care what we're under. That needs to happen. I'm done with excuses. No more excuses. Get it done. Get these kids educated. I don't care where the education happens. Just get it done. Do your damn job. All right? So I'm getting mad at everybody in the educational system because I'm part of that. Okay? My daughter's a teacher. So there's no like bias. There's no craziness going on. But I am pissed off about it. I feel like the job is not being done. The educational system sucks right now. And the educators need to change that. Do what you gotta do. Get these kids improving and making progress. Take the time. Get it done. And parents, screw those reds. So if you got a review of existing data, or if you have something like that in your state, you can let them do it. They don't have to ask to do it, actually. It's an observation. But never accept that as a full evaluation. Ever. All right? I am seriously mad about this. I really am. So if you don't like it, just get off my page. So my thing is I want you guys to review your child's data. I have homework for y'all. You know how I give you homework. All right? Go back and look at the evaluations your child's done. Look at the IQs. All right? Don't look at all the other numbers. Look at the IQ. Just that one number. All right? Go back however old your child is. All right? Go back to the last one. If there was one before that, start comparing those IQ numbers. All right? Look at them really closely. And then, even though we're parents and we don't like to digest certain things, as a parent, go with your gut of, has your child improved in that 4 years, 6 years, 2 years, whatever it is? Many times they have. All right? I fully believe with everything that I am that no matter what the disability, and I'm being dead serious, no matter what the disability, that and take away the law, take away IDEA for a second. We're just going by what Raven feels and believes. So if you care, listen. If you don't. But I truly believe that every child, disability, non-disability, whatever, thrives and will continue to thrive and make some sort of progress in some way, shape, or form, no matter what, with love, with attention, with time, and with the most recent evaluations done to be able to focus on the impact of disability, and then being given an education in a way that they will learn. So what does that come back to? The how they're taught. So with that, I believe that all children can improve. Does that mean in a huge, substantial way? No, not always. But every child can improve. And for the fact that this teacher had the audacity to say what she said is atrocious, is horrifying, is unacceptable, and I won't put up with it. All right? And the fact that legally speaking, all right, this isn't legal advice, I'm not a lawyer, but this is just stating per idea, it states, the law states that very clearly that since the commentary and the change from 2004 to 2006 of idea changing, it is now in place where teachers, educators have to have a higher outlook on educating students and giving them the opportunity to do more challenging things and to challenge them and to challenge themselves to actually educate the child with challenging things and for them to make progress in lieu of their disability. All right, that is law now. So this has to be adhered to. So for a teacher to say, hey, his cognitive ability was XYZ in 2014, and the fact that he's still on a first grade level in 2020, and when I said, why hasn't he made progress? And you're going to tell me, well, it's his cognitive ability. She basically said, he can't learn. So sorry. No way. And then the fact that she didn't know. I said, how do you know? You haven't even done an evaluation. And then she had the nerve to say that it wouldn't have made a difference, basically. That children's IQs don't change, which is bullshit. All right, I'm done for the day. I'm done. Okay, let me just say hi to everybody. All right, so hi, Claudia. It sounds like you're reading my daughter's IEP. Kim says, wow, so the child can say one letter. Well, now they take it away. Yeah, they took away speech based on the fact that that was his last goal and that he accomplished the letter L. He was able to sound out the letter L. Now, I've spoken to this child, mind you, and he needs speech in a very desperate way. But because they had no other goals given or provided to him, they took speech. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what's going on. It's insane. Sarah, hello. And I'm going to call you. I am. All the people who messaged me, I know. I got a lot of you that I got to call tomorrow, and it's crazy. I'm like sitting there looking at it like, oh my God. But I'm going to call you guys, I promise. Let me see. So Tess says, I get this for my son too. They want to dismiss him from speech. Yeah, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unless your child is good to go, then of course we all want them to not have to have that. But if they do, don't you dare take it away. And then I'm telling you, in the PWN, that is what they said. That was their reasoning for taking speech away. He mastered the letter L. That was it. That's all it says. He mastered the letter L. That's what it says, guys. It's freaking crazy. Are you sure you're not in California? No, but I am an advocate for many people in California. I actually have an IEP tomorrow. This is the exact experience we have here. These people are not. Oh yeah, I know. I know. I've dealt with Temecula, LAUSD. Tomorrow is LUSD, I think it is. Oh yeah, I've dealt with many districts in California. Oh yeah, they love me. Lucy, hello. Worse than IEP meeting we had. Yours was, they at least engaged. At least I had a full-blown argument, where this one was, it was bad. I mean, I cannot wait to take these people to the cleaners. Karina, hello. I like your picture. That's pretty. Is it snowed there? Is it snow? Am I seeing that right? Jennifer, she says, this sounds like my stepson and he spends half the day doing PE, no education, just babe. Oh. I'll tell you, that's one thing that was in this. It seems like my video is all weird today. That's one thing that they said is here's another hiccup that they did. This is the games that they were playing today. You know how certain people have to be at your IEP, the SPED teacher, the Gen Ed teacher, the district representative, you, all right? Gen Ed, SPED, district representative, you, all right? And then anybody else you request or whatever. And so there was 2 SPED teachers there, but then they said they were Gen Ed too. Oh yeah. Nobody can sit in for any one person, okay? So like a principal can't sit in and say, hey, I'm the teacher today, because they're a teacher, because they're a licensed teacher. Doesn't work like that. So they did that, and then the lady wanted to say, oh, well, this isn't an IEP meeting. We're just here to discuss the concerns. I said, that's funny, because in your email you state, well, the director of special education states we're gonna go through your concerns and your new concerns and your old concerns and in full, and discuss them and so on and so forth. Plus it's going to be a reevaluation meeting to go over the red. And then mind you, when I started going over the red, that was when she was like, you only have 30 minutes. You only have 15 minutes. Is there a point to this that you're going through the red page by page? I said, well, you wanted me to discuss the parents' concerns first in the red. Well, what is your point? Like, what is it you're wanting? Like, that's what she was doing. And this is a meeting where, I'm not sure I understand. Oh, I have Siri on my phone talking to me. You know how there's certain things, even as an advocate, we have to digest, and we have to say, okay, this one isn't worth my breath. That doesn't mean you wasted your money, guys. Okay, so hear me out. All right, where you just have to check out. All right, and you tell the parents, you say, hey, sometimes it's a one and done, and sometimes you got to head back to the table, and then sometimes you need to go do other measures. Okay. Dependent on the situation, dependent on how the school system responds back to you and their engagement, the hope is for them to want to collaborate and work as a team. As screwed up as you guys may have had a situation, the goal is at the end of the day, once an advocate comes in, is for, everything to start flowing. This was one of those meetings where I had to say, okay, Raven, just accept it and let it go, and advise the parents of what needs to happen, and what you suggest, and what, I usually say, as a mom, this is what I would do, but no, the parent already was like, I'm done, so there's always a scenario and always a reasoning, and then there's situations where an IEP may not go great, and then we head back to the table and it goes more smoothly, so I like parents to know that as well, but there's certain things that you guys just do not put up with anymore. Okay. Hi Maria, how are you? They sure failed that child, Kim. You're absolutely right. Jesse says, I have had several IEP meetings like this one. This is one reason I homeschool. When I asked them for a meeting for service, they have lost his last IEP and they never call me back. Yeah. Claudia says, I don't think they have ever done an IQ test on my daughter. How old's your daughter? So they've never done a Whisk or a Wyatt, or... Let me know. How old's your child? I mean, your child should have a full evaluation before they even go to kindergarten and have an IEP, and you're amazing. I love how you fight for children and don't back down. Thank you. Can you request for their IQ to be tested? Yeah, well, that is what the Whisk or Wyatt and all those, the psychological evaluation, that's what that does. The psychoeducational, the neuropsychological, all of those measure the IQ, among other things. Okay, so your child needs those assessments along with multiple others. Sarah says, thank you so much for doing these videos and doing the work you do. You give me hope for my child. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. To limit a child from reaching their full potential is, no, it's not. It's not. Thank you, Dorothy. I appreciate it. I try to rock. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really do what I do because I'm super passionate about these kids. And, you know, these kids need to have what's needed and appropriate, to be honest. And too many just fall through the cracks, you know, and I don't like to put blame on any one person or anything, but hello, I mean, it's somebody's at fault here. Okay. It's not a non at fault thing. Somebody is at fault, and people don't like to hear that from me, but it is what it is. I'm going to call it as I see it. Do I think it's one person's fault? It's her fault or his fault? Or is it productive for me in an IEP meeting to say it's your fault or your fault? No, it's not. That's not productive. That doesn't get it done, because it's about the child, and the focus needs to be on the child and getting what's needed and appropriate for them from here on out. But do I, as a person, see the problem in the system? I sure as heck do. Absolutely. Darlene says, true, I have witnessed improvement in some of these children. Absolutely. Absolutely. And in my mind, even if, you know, I'll give you an example. All right. And I'll tell you what pissed me off so much about this situation. Several years ago, I was in an IEP meeting, and a psychologist, I was in tears. A psychologist did a psychological evaluation on Skylar, and it was a bad result. All right. The IQ was bad, but it was a summer assessment, and Skylar was kind of thrown. She didn't know this person, and it was a rushed test. So she did bad. IEP meeting, I'm having words with the psychologist, and she then says, well, maybe you need to just deal with the fact that your child can't learn any more than this. Oh yeah, that's what she said. And I think everything went red. I mean, it took everything I had to not fly across the table. Really. And in all actuality, guys, have I ever hit anybody in my life? No, I haven't. But at that moment, it took everything I had to keep it together. The director of special education was there, and she's always been at my IEP meetings, and we were actually friends for many years, believe it or not. We are not anymore. So I reported this psychologist, and, you know, I flipped shit. She left the meeting, et cetera, et cetera. I was very clear on the fact she was never to go near my child again. And yes, parents, you can say that. You actually can. All right. Especially when things are done like that. All right. Safety, verbiage like that, that's very insulting and discriminatory. All of those things. Okay. So bottom line, from that IQ, all right, that was shit. She improved by, I don't know what they call it as far as like when they improve I call it points, percentage, whatever, but she went up by 22, all right, by her next one. And I do yearly. That is unheard of. Okay. To go up that much. And she did. And did I do anything extensive? No. So is that something that can just happen to my child? No, I didn't do anything special. All right. So to say, and I know this has happened to other children too, I'm just giving you an example of my child where I knew how, for a fact, you know, this with other people's situations, but my own, that this woman was incorrect, and the fact that a psychologist or anybody else does not get to play God like that. They don't. All right. Yes. Is there situations where the child, you know, they've kind of they're at the point where, there may be an area that they're not going to improve on anymore. Sure. But is that my right to call? No. And the thing is when you go 6 years without giving an evaluation, no. You have no room to say anything. Nothing. Zero. All right? So that was the shocking part, is don't you dare say anything of the fact that you believe this child can't learn anymore and their cognitive ability is where it is at a first grade level at 13, and you've not given a full evaluation or IQ test in 6 years because you keep doing a review of existing data and accepting observation as data and an evaluation. Absolutely inappropriate, completely unprofessional, and you don't even want to know what else I think, y'all. You don't. Hey, Lori, how are ya? I'm going to call you back, I promise. Kelly, the team wants to take away my daughter's speech because her last evaluation states she doesn't need it anymore. What do you mean it states she doesn't need it anymore? It needs to state, if she doesn't need it anymore, you need to have a PWN that states she doesn't need it anymore because of X, Y, and Z. That's what I want to see. And it better be clear of why she doesn't need it anymore, with details and data. All right? Not she doesn't need it anymore, like this child. He doesn't need speech anymore because he mastered the letter L in his last goal. Well, it sounds like he needs more goals. You don't withdraw speech when a child needs speech because they mastered their last goal and you refuse to give them more goals because you refuse to evaluate them. Because you don't want to give them the services. She's only in first grade and is diagnosed with autism and ADHD. She is fully verbal, but has difficulty with social and emotional skills. Yeah. So, I'd have to know more about the deficit, but, it sounds, a lot of children with autism, period, need speech, in some way, shape, or form. Do they always need 3 times a week at an hour? No. But typically they need something to help encourage the social deficit that is there just because that's autism. Whether that mean you learning how to initiate and make friends is speech, Hey, Stephanie, how are you? 9 years old. Okay. Claudia, you and I need to talk quickly. She got an IEP based off her need for speech therapy for her stuttering. When did she get an IEP? Claudia. Hannah, hi, how are you? I was said my daughter can't learn and I need to stop pushing. Well, you can accept that if you want to, or you can tell them where to put it, like I would. So it's whatever you want to do, girl. No, seriously, never accept that, ever. All right, ever. Every child deserves the opportunity and the ability to learn. Every child deserves the opportunity and ability to thrive and grow and progress. And it's all about who is teaching them and how the hell are they doing it. Because guess what? How you learn and how I learn, and we don't have disabilities, are different. And I can guarantee you that. How I learn is more than likely very different from the way you learn. And we don't have disabilities. So how dare somebody say that a child can't learn? Because guess what? How many different ways of teaching have they tried to be able to say that? God, it pisses me off. It really freaking does. I got to get off here because I'm so pissed off. Right. They are quick to assume that. She only has 30 minutes a week. Is that total? Just one time a week, Kelly? And we can talk. You can PM me. We can talk. And I can find out more about your daughter. And then I can help with that. But I can't really, without knowing, evaluations and her history and anything about her, I can't really say, oh, okay, that's good or that's not good. Claudia, I said, you and I need to talk right away because your child is 9 and hasn't had an evaluation. So that was what I said. And then the second thing that I said was, what age was she when she got an IEP? Was it 5? Did she have one in preschool? That sort of thing. Gail says, hello, hello. So if you're joining, post a 1 below. If you're new, first through third time catching me live, post a 2 below. If you're an oldie but goodie, anybody on here that's an oldie but goodie, will you do me a favor and share this to the group for me, please? Please, please, please. I would really appreciate it. I don't think they have those watch parties anymore, but if they do, you can do that. But you can just share it to the group. That would be awesome. Awesome. I would really, really appreciate you. And you're welcome to, guys, share this in general to the public or to your friends. I don't know if this is a good one to watch because I'm so pissed off and angry, and you're seeing a lot of my anger and aggression and frustration because I get that way sometimes, guys. I'm human, and it makes me sick. The things that are happening today. It just does. The things that are happening in education today, the things that are being said, evaluations not being done, proper evaluations not being done, services being withdrawn. I could go on and on. School systems and their attorneys bullying parents and scaring them with scare tactics, calling CPS on people. I'm just over it. I'm just done with the bullshit. What are the things to get in detail on a new state of IEP from California to Nevada? I don't understand what you mean, Gail. Can you explain that for me in more detail so I can answer that? Hi, Inez. How are you? Are you still new? I'll give you, this is your last time. All right? I'm going to give you to today. That's it. Then you're 2. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Kim. You guys are awesome. Claudia says, pretty sure it was 2nd grade. I fought for it sooner, but it was denied. But I will find her IEP tomorrow on PM. Yes, please. 2nd grade. So 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So is that 5th grade? So in 3 years, she hasn't had an evaluation. So that sounds about right in regards to a triennial. But, like, for example, Gail, by law, legally speaking, okay, this isn't legal advice, this is public knowledge on idea, etc. That, so for example, if it was September 2017 that she got an IEP, then September of 2020, she should have had a full evaluation. So if it was 2nd grade, Christmas, then by Christmas, she's supposed to have before that date, not on that date. All right. Hi, Eugenia. Am I saying that right? Welcome. What are your thoughts on homeschool or online schooling? I think online schooling is horrible for many students with special needs. I think that it is not an adequate way in which they learn. Now, homeschooling, where are you with homeschooling, meaning withdraw your child from public school and then teach them on your own for parents to get a program and a certified program to do homeschooling, and that's what they're committed to do. I'm all for that. I could never do it, but I think, if a parent's committed, absolutely. As far as online schooling, no. Gail, yes. What was your question? I need you to repeat your question. I need to understand what it means. What are things to get in detail on a new state of IEP? I don't know what a state of IEP from California to Nevada is. I don't know what that means, so I need you to explain it to me. Okay, yeah, PM me. So fourth grade now. Okay, so all right, so you have another year for your triennial, but I would ask for an evaluation now. All right, Claudia. All right, guys. Bye. I'll see you later. And thank you for being patient of me not being in my office, because it's a huge cluster because we're putting everything together. It's like really being redone. So literally, this is your third video. Okay, so I was right. So like my desk is being put together. It's going to be awesome though. I'm excited. But thanks for being awesome and patient with me with that. And you guys are cool. So thanks. And thanks for sharing to the group. Oh, and if you haven't joined the group, definitely do that. You'll get lots of support from other parents. And, you know, then I'm on there as much as I can because I'm crazy busy this month with making up for IEPs since I had surgery in September and October. So November is literally back to back to back to back. I had one today, I have one tomorrow. It's crazy. But I am taking more clients now. And so if you're interested, PM me. I know a lot of people have. I'm going to get back to you tomorrow. I promise. All right. Or on Saturday. So I'm actually going to be making calls. I promise. All right. So I will talk to you guys soon, and PM me if you need anything. My calendar is still turned off because I'm crazy right now. So discovery calls are at my convenience. So that's why I say PM me versus schedule a time with my scheduler. That'll be probably turned back on after the holidays. So just PM me if you need anything, post any questions. I will come back and answer. If you are catching the replay, post a 1 below. If you are new, post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. And new is your first through third time. And then that's it. Okay, you're an oldie but goodie. All right. So I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining me. And I will more than likely be on the group live tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.